to Full Function TV. I'm Dr. Joe, President and Lead Chiropractor here at Full Function Rehab and Wellness, and I'm here interviewing John Vettese. He's a personal injury lawyer and partner at Little Morello Vettese Segreto here in Vaughan, Ontario. Thanks for coming in, John.
Dr. Joe, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much. And first and foremost, congratulations, Vincent, newborn.
Yeah, thank you very much. My wife and I just had our third child earlier this week, so thank you very much, John.
Very, very glad to be here and to speak about an important subject that it's affected many of us and many of our families, I guess, personal injury, motor vehicle accidents.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, because you look after a lot of our clients, that it's very important to get early intervention in many cases and take care of both the physical repercussions of accidents and the cognitive and the psychological. So I want to say thank you for looking after our clients. Very happy, and keep up the great work.
Great. No, thank you very much. Thank you. So that being said, why don't you tell us a little bit about your firm, LMVS?
We're different from most. A lot of people like to drop by, and this is not an open invitation, by the way, because we got to get work done too, but we have a lot of friends in the field like yourself. We deal with the media, we deal with doctors and providers of equipment for disabled people, and we like to keep a good rapport with them. So you'll find sometimes they'll come over for a coffee and we'll have a chat, and it's always about learning, evolving on how to better help our clients, their patients, your patients. Because things change. Everyone's different. Everybody reacts differently to a fender bender. You often see total write-off crashes, and you think of those as being the more serious accidents, but there's a lot of people that aren't taken seriously by maybe even their family members, in many cases insurance companies, where they have fender benders. There's not a lot of property damage, but there's people that you may not know, I may not know at first glance. They look healthy, but they have pre-accident histories. And these little fender benders, we say little fender benders, but they're a big deal for the people that come through our doors and your doors. They aggravate pre-accident health histories, and they have a hard time dealing with these injuries. So I got to tell you, what separates us, I think, from other law firms is that I think we like to make people feel comfortable. So when they come in, we're professional. And when you come in the doors, you want to meet a professional, you want to meet someone who's serious, someone who specializes and does this, accidents, and that's what we do. Nice. So we have the 4 partners. We have Ian Little, who's honorary Italian. He's been doing this for over 30 years. We have Diana Morello, who's been doing it probably over 22 years. Myself, I'm going on my 19th year. And Vettese Segreto, who's also been doing it for many years. We have 2 other lawyers. And we have a very, very good staff of paralegals, law clerks, legal assistants. We're in the range of 20 people. Nice. So we're smaller. We're not too big. And we're able to take on a lot of cases, but we like to keep it a boutique style. But getting back to the fact that, we like the personal touch. So when people come into the office, I do the interview with a law clerk or a paralegal. I want to make people feel comfortable. I want the personal touch. So I want them to know who I am, what we can offer as a team, because it's a team approach. For sure. It's not just myself working on a file. It's the other partners, it's the other lawyers. We work together, and if I'm away, they can talk to the law clerks, they can talk to the other lawyers, but they can reach me. And that's what differentiates us from other law firms, is that you're not only dealing with the law clerks, you're not only dealing with the legal assistants. A lot of people just want to deal with me, or primarily want to deal with me, or Diana, or Ian, or Piera. And that's what sets us apart. Okay, so I'm very fortunate to be working with a great group of people. I've been working with Ian, Diana, and Piera now. It's got to be close to 18 years. And some of them have been working together for more than me. I know Ian and Diana have been working together for 26 years now. Oh, wow. We have a great rapport, and the people that are with us, we call them, I don't know if we call them lifers, but they're part of the family. It's like a family environment.
Yeah, you need to have that culture within the business. Everybody stays together, and they're all pushing for the same goal, helping their clients get the best for them.
Yeah,
which is great.
You and I talk every so often on how best to approach a certain situation. A lot of times people, they don't want to go through the hassle of opening up a file. They're worried their insurance rates are going to go up. They're worried, this is just going to be a headache. I'm going to, maybe I'll get better on my own. I'll go for a couple treatment sessions and things will get better. You never know. I think the best way is, even in a case where you think it's more of a minor accident, but where they're, people are back at work, but they can't do the extra activities that they're used to. They can't go bike riding with their kids or their family. They can't go to social functions because they exhaust all their energy during the day to basically earn a livelihood. A lot of people don't have the luxury of basically saying to their bosses, I can't go to work, I'm injured.
Exactly.
They push through it. Yep. And that's where you're very important. They have to follow the treatment regime, because what happens is it gets frustrating. People with their busy schedules, they put themselves last.
Yep.
So, and I often tell people, you have to look after yourself. If you don't look after yourself, you're never going to get better.
No, and it could delay things. They can have post issues,
Yeah.
traumatic issues as well, coming from their injury, their accident. So they have to deal with their treatment plan. They have to deal with everything involved with their health to really get better.
One thing I say, Dr. Joe, in my line of business, I believe the clients that come in, because our primary method of getting clients is word of mouth. Okay, the advertising that we do is basically the fundraisers that we do to get a brand recognition, because people want to know that we're known out there. But primarily, it's previous clients, family members, even doctors of satisfied patients. They're referring to us, and they've been doing it. Now we're together as LMVS for 10 years, but we've been together for more than that, the core group. Yeah. And it's important that people, they know that they have to open up to us. People are very hesitant to open up to their doctors, to their treating practitioners, to their lawyers. It's very important because, and this is what I was going to get to, is that it really, for me, the truth is important. Yeah. And I believe my clients. But when you go out there, for the insurance companies, if your matter has to go to court or arbitration, or has to go through a licensing appeals tribunal hearing, it's the proof. So whatever is in the documentation is very important. So when you go to your treating chiropractor or physiotherapist or family doctor or specialist, you have to make sure you make consistent effort to go out there and be there for yourself. Oh. You got to be honest and get the help that you need, because otherwise no one's going to believe you. And I know that you see this. If people don't come to you often enough, you doubt whether or not they're seriously injured, I would think, right?
Oh, so for sure, they come in for their assessment. We document a certain diagnosis, their injuries, and we get everything approved. And it's like, okay, well, let's get started. Let's get you better, and they fall off. So you kind of wonder what's happening there. But for the most part, a lot of people, they're dedicated. They want to get better because their family life is suffering, their job is suffering, their hobbies is suffering, and they just want to get back out there. So it's great that facilities like ours and lawyers and firms like yourself, you take care and take pride in that.
It's very important. It's very important. We have to look after our clients, your patients, because without them, we don't have a job. Yeah, we have to do it. We have to do a great work for them and look after their best interests.
No, that's true. Now, when someone gets into an injury, let's say a car accident, for example, why do they need a lawyer? What's the benefit of having one? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know what? The system seems simple when you're at first glance, but it's not simple. You're dealing with adjusters who do this all the time. You're dealing with, in some cases, the adjusters and insurance companies for the at-fault drivers. And you think it's a fair system, and in many cases it is. In many cases there are good adjusters that will help you, but that's not always the case. You need someone who's knowledgeable in the law when it comes to motor vehicle accidents, and as you know, there's two parts to it. Oftentimes people think about the part with the at-fault driver and who's going to compensate me for my missed time off work, who's going to compensate me for my pain and suffering. That's important, obviously. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we like to stress the aspect of the treatment first, because if someone doesn't get better, no amount of money is going to bring them back to the way they used to be. So it's important that someone who's injured in an accident at least speak to the proper health professionals, okay, their family doctors, their trusted chiropractors, physiotherapists, but they should get a free consultation from a lawyer that specializes in personal injury. In our case, consultations are free. Yeah. Okay, so we let you know what your rights are. We listen to what you've gone through, what the person's gone through in the accident, and we give them advice based upon what they've told us. Now, if there's no strings attached. If they don't want to hire us, at least they've had the opportunity of knowing what their rights are.
And they're more educated. They can make that educated opinion as to what direction they want to go. Yeah. And that's great that you guys provide that.
Oh, thank you.
For your clients.
Well, one thing that's very important for people that are coming into our offices and they say, well, listen, number one, I mentioned it before, I think in most occasions, people don't want their insurance rates to go up.
Yes.
And that's not something, if it's not their fault, that's not something that they should have to worry about. Primarily, it's not a concern, okay? The other thing is, we don't know what the future holds. They may get better after one course of treatment with you, and in many cases they don't. Okay, the body is a very complicated thing, and you can speak to that. And there's two aspects to it. You know, I noticed that you do something that a lot of other facilities don't, and you deal with the concussion aspect of the claims. A lot of people don't realize they get into accidents, they get headaches, they get fatigued, they can't sleep, and it's not just the physical aspect, but it's also the psycho-emotional aspect that you deal with, and it's very important. But you know what? I would say whenever someone's going to a law firm, whether it's LMVS, okay, there's a lot of good law firms out there that deal with accidents. They have to ask the right questions. They have to ensure that the lawyers they're going to are not just dabbling with personal injury, that you're dealing with a lawyer. There's a lot of good paralegals that are associated with lawyers, but that you're dealing with a law firm that does this and has done it for a while. I think that's very, very important. Yeah,
no, that's good. Definitely the experience you guys bring to the table is there between yourself and the rest of your partners, your firm, which is great. Which is great. So if anybody wanted to get a hold of your firm or contact you guys, what's the best way?
Well, the best way is to go on the webpage, so www.lmvs.ca. And you'll see a nice bio of all the employees, not just the partners and the associate lawyers, but the law clerks and the paralegals. So LMVS, Little Morello Vettese Segreto. And give us a call. We'll set up an appointment and give you a free consultation.
Yeah, that's great.
It's as easy as that.
Click on the button.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, that's great. So we learned a little bit more about the passion that John brings to his clients, but we want to know a little bit more personally about you. So if you could pick anywhere in the world to go, where would you go and why?
So I'm fortunate to have a lovely, intelligent lady as a wife. She happens to be my partner as well, and she's sitting in the room. If it were up to me personally, I love many places in the world, and I've visited a few places along the way. So my parents are Italian. I'm a proud Canadian. Wouldn't go anywhere else, but for vacation, Italy is one of my favorite places. And what we like to do every couple of years, if we can, if time permits, is pick a different place in Italy as home base and just travel.
Oh, that's great.
But there's many other places. I'm sure you've gone different places in the world. We just came back from Portugal. Nice. Beautiful people, beautiful country. A few years back, Spain. A lot of places. And one thing I have to say though, even when we are on vacation, I mean, we like to concentrate on vacation when we're on vacation. We like to be stress-free. But I always have my phone there, and I do take days off. There's a nice radio commercial about the people working on Christmas and other holidays. I like to enjoy my family too. Family's important, but I do have my phone, and I do make sure that clients get responses. And I want to add to what we were saying before that. Before I became a lawyer, maybe it's almost 19 years now, I think the biggest complaint of many people, and I think you've heard it too, is that lawyers, law firms, they don't get the personal touch, they don't get the response. They're waiting to hear what's happening. And you know what? I won't have the answer when someone calls, but the fact that they know that I'm there for them, that we'll call them back as soon as we can, that they'll get an answer by email or by call, that's very important. So that's one pet peeve of mine. I've been involved in an accident. A lot of my family's members have been involved in accidents. And when we were represented before I became a lawyer, that was the one pet peeve, is that, okay, you have a good law firm, you have competent people, but they're not calling me back. They're not getting back to you. Yeah, they're not answering my calls. Yeah, so that's very important.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Those little touches really set people aside, set firms apart, businesses aside, which is great. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, that's perfect. Well, thank you for tuning in to Full Function TV from myself, Dr. Joe, and John. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you later.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Joe.